Here we are in Mabou, Nova Scotia. Yes. Faramau Dulcas, where culture lives, am I right? Mabou is the definition of a seasonal maritime town. In the summer, not only with the industry, fishing and farming, but there are all kinds of tourists here, lots of people. Music is being played everywhere. The culture lives in the streets. In the winter, I'd say culture still lives here, but more along the bottom of your shower curtain, probably.
When you grow up in a small town in Newfoundland, you see the people have a sense of humor about hard times.
Check, check.
I turned that into a career and hit the road.
Mr. Johnny Harris!
Now I'm on a mission to find the funny in the places you'd least expect it. Canada's struggling small towns. Towns that are against the ropes, but hanging in there. Still laughing in the face of adversity.
This is Mabou, Nova Scotia.
I think, if we're going to talk about why Gaelic Scots first came and settled this area, maybe you have to go right back to the Battle of Culloden, the Jacobite uprising of 1745, right? The Scots lost that battle. Life became very difficult for the Scots after that battle. Some people were literally burned out of their homes, and other people were driven out by high rent. I'll take B on that one. It's not nearly as bad, is it? Right? Oh, yeah, Angus was burned out of his home. Oh, yeah? Well, my utilities are no longer included. I'm thinking about going to Canada.
Mabou, Nova Scotia is a 3.5-hour drive from Halifax on the western coast to Cape Breton Island.
I wanted to get a feel for this town, so I got to talk to a guy who's not only a Mabou native, but has been the premier of your province, Rodney McDonald, right here.
How you doing?
How are you, Johnny?
Welcome to Mabou.
A lot of McDonald's around here. If you're going to talk about shortages in Mabou, don't think about jobs. Think about last names. Lots of first names.
I'm Rodney Angus, Kenny Sandy Finley.
Say it again.
Rodney Angus, Kenny Sandy Finley.
Trying to fit in, I was like, I'm John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. But despite being the premier here, Rodney told me that sometimes when people recognize him, it's for his music.
I'm a fiddler as well, fiddler and a dancer.
Is that right?
And if I go to a local store, even if it's in around Cape Breton Island,
There would be an older gentleman come up to him and look at him and say, hey, you're that fiddler, aren't you?
there hasn't been easy times around here. There's a lot of seasonal work here. Places like the Red Shoe Pub, seasonal. The Shining Waters, local restaurant, seasonal again. My own cottages, Cayley Cottages in West Mabou, seasonal. The lobster season here is 2 months long.
Go hard for 2 months and take the rest of the year off like the Toronto Maple Leafs.
But they all work hard. The people of Mabou, they never say die, and they never will.
I knew who I needed to talk to since I first arrived here because their name is on the sign. The Rankins, the ambassadors of Mabou culture. I got to go tear up the trails with Heather Rankin here. I tell you, she's a feisty little lady, and she's whipping up the trails. She's flying, and she's on this in 800cc. It was the biggest four-wheeler I've ever seen. And she's, 40, 41? At the most, 42 pounds.
Thanks for bringing me up here.
Welcome to Mabou.
Well, first of all, let's acknowledge you are Heather Rankin of the Rankins, Canadian supergroup. Is that a fair word to use?
I tell you, what an honor to meet with such a renowned, professional, esteemed artist. I'm sure we were both thinking. And...
So, Heather, you grew up here in Mabou. There's a whole slew of you guys, right?
There were 12 in my family. 12 kids. I'm number 11.
I guess it's an easier transition from family into Canadian supergroup when you already got a tour bus from taking the kids to church on Sunday.
And so, Heather, you've obviously toured fairly extensively in your career. Tell me what you see when you go to small towns across Canada.
The hearts of communities are being ripped out, and We're relocating the center of our towns and cities to industrial parks with big box stores. Fortunately, that doesn't exist here. I think the fact that this area remained relatively isolated for so many generations, those traditions that came over with the Scottish people were able to survive.
Yeah.
It's not unusual for there to be a musician or a dancer or singer in every other household.
She said in Mabou, it's always there. It's not really something you avoid. She said, even if somebody just pops over.
You would be outside playing, and our parents would call us in to play a tune or step dance or sing for whoever was visiting.
You're putting off a show when somebody just even pops over, right? Kids, Margie's coming over to borrow a cup of sugar. 5, 6, 7, 8. I imagine people in Mabou are some happy, like the day after they've had a party, they go downstairs and realize somebody's left a hat behind. Oh, tune up the fiddle, they're gonna be coming for that. Come on, kids, we're gonna be ready when they come for that. You know, I've had people saying things to me in Gaelic all week, so I decided I would find out if they were being nice to me or not. I figured I could use a lesson. I went to talk to a young teacher, Joanne McIntyre. Joanne is teaching the kids the Gaelic, and I tell you, Heather's 11 out of 12 kids. Joanne is 14 out of 15 kids. I'm starting to think my parents were just lazy. Hey guys, how's it going?
Pretty good.
We played a couple of word games with the kids.
Dahan agus itach, okay? So I just told them we're gonna play Move Your Butt. This can get pretty rough.
They were very good with me. They were very patient with my poor pronunciation. Even when it came to the Gaelic, it was quite...
Goes to Han, Mahau Kosk. Got him.
Got him some B. Oh, yeah.
That was blue pants, right?
Blue.
Blue, anything blue.
The kids have more opportunity than I remember there being available when I was their age. I didn't speak Gaelic with my dad, even though I was learning it, but they will.
Right.
So there's an energy that I've never seen. It's way cooler to do Gaelic these days.
Yeah.
So what does it mean to you? I mean, you're an ambassador of that language now.
If I don't do this, who will? And I know that this is not the only place that kids learn Gaelic, but if they have something in the school and then they have support at home and then they have things in the community, then they can just stand on that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's great, that's great. Joanne had some Gaelic phrases on the wall for the kids to learn.
A gionsachug.
Simple ones. Hi, how are you? Please and thank you.
Food me jauchain.
What is it?
Can I get a drink?
Can I have a drink?
It's good. Start them early.
No judgment here. I know it's a Scottish culture. I got to do something you don't do every day. I got to hang out with a biomedical engineer / bagpipe player. I went out with Kenneth McKenzie.
I work for a small startup, a high-tech company. I got a job with them about 5 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, what were the chances of that, finding a job in that field in Mabou?
Very low, but I'm glad that they were there.
Kenneth's field of biomedical engineering has to do with joint replacements, but then he also plays bagpipes. So you know what the old saying is, right? Tweak Nan's hip on a Sunday, sell her one on Monday. But you know, Kenneth is part of a generation that's responsible for bringing Gaelic back into the mainstream in Mabou, making it something to be proud of. So they're not only learning the music, they're learning the language as well. If you're wondering how Gaelic is doing, Gaelic is what the cool kids are doing. Yes?
The culture we have here is based on that language. Gaelic values are very strong here, helping out our neighbors, volunteering, and respect for elders, and it kind of gives you a broader outlook on life.
You seem to me to be like a parent's dream. It's like he's taken on the culture and the language, but also a medical bioengineering job as well.
I don't know about that.
He tried to show me how to play the bagpipes. Oh my God, it's not easy.
Through here.
It takes a lot of strength. It's like you're trying to wrestle an octopus. But you're blowing into it. It's like you're giving it CPR. It's like You are simultaneously trying to kill and resuscitate an octopus. Is the best way I can put it.
Excellent.
Kenneth said to me, with bagpipes, you either love him or hate him, but you can't ignore him. But then Kenneth played it, and it was magnificent. I mean, what a commanding instrument. The lung capacity on this guy is incredible. I tell you want him on your grad committee, because when you got to blow up 300 balloons, you want this guy who helping you out. I'd like to have him with me if I got a flat tire in the car, right? I can just picture Kenneth looking at it and be like, oh, yeah. Here's your problem. You got a nail in your sidewall. Hang on now. Who's got a piece of gum?
What a duet. What a duet. You kept up, I gotta say. Not bad.
One thing that I had not come across since I came to this very Scottish part of the country was an actual Scot that was remedied when I met Margie Beaton from the Hebrides. Margie Beaton. Margie, I met her down at the bridge and Droghich. Close enough? Passable? And Droghich. In this sense, it doesn't only bridge one side of Mabou with the other.
We thought the name appropriate because it was a bridge between cultures, because we have a variety of cultures in the area.
Right.
She told me that Mabou has a history of welcoming refugees from embattled areas, you know?
Well, the Gaels themselves coming, and post-war, the Dutch families that came in. Later on, the boat people from Vietnam, they were welcomed in also.
More recently, Sierra Leone, Iraq, from ravaged, distraught areas. The CBC, there's a few of us there. But I tell you, Margie told me about a really incredible effort that's been made in your community for Syrian refugees.
The third family is due to arrive this week, so we'll have close to 20 Syrians living close by.
She told me that her and her husband, they decided that they would donate a house. Donate a house. That's pretty good.
My mother-in-law passed away last summer, and her house was sitting empty next door to us. And as a family, they decided that they would make the house available for 1 year for a refugee family.
Is that right?
She told me something like that they needed furniture. She said, okay, the doors will be unlocked tomorrow from 11 to 1. And everybody from the community came by and brought furnishings for this family.
By the end of Saturday, the place was fully furnished.
Is that right?
People went out, bought things for them. They brought from their own homes.
After hearing that story, I just want you guys to know that my minivan is unlocked also. It's on their parking lot. I feel like putting a bagpipes run Nintendo or something in there.
Thank you.
Now, the Syrian family didn't come here tonight. Well, first of all, because they don't speak a word of English, so it wouldn't have been much good to come to a comedy show. Luckily, we had Bob Kabar. Bob is here. Bob Kabar, he was translating for us. He did a great job. He's fluent. I brought a little gift over, if that's okay. Yeah. Do you want to go?
Oh, wow. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I gave them a camera and some speakers for their computers so that they could keep in touch with their family back home.
Thank you, Jazeera.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. The Syrian family also couldn't come here tonight because they can't go where alcohol is served. Unfortunately, they're in Atlantic, Canada. That's going to be a tough one. They'll enjoy going to the post office. Anyway, I'm sure they're going to fit right into this lovely little community. I wish them all the best.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You know, now that I could say, can I get a drink, I thought to myself, can I go get a drink? I went down to Glenora Distillery. I met with Daniel McLean. Yes, master distiller. I met him. At least I think I met him.
What kind of products do you make here?
Single malt whiskey. So we have a 10-year-old, 15-year-old, 20-year-old, 25-year-old.
Right. Does this make a good Jell-O shooter, Daniel?
It can, sure.
Glenora opened in 1990, and it was the first single malt whiskey distillery in North America.
We've slowly but surely grown bigger over the years.
Right. So a lot of this operation, like a lot of businesses, I guess, in Mabou is seasonal.
We get approximately 10,000 visitors here in the summer. It's busy. So my guys that actually work on the stills and create this whiskey in the winter, their job in the summer is to maintain the property.
But the most interesting story that Daniel had for me was there was a corporate conglomerate in Scotland that slapped these guys with a lawsuit.
The Scotch Society of Scotland decided, hey, they used the name Glen. This society decided to sue us.
They were saying the word Glen in Glen Breton sort of suggested that the product was from Scotland. It's Nova Scotia. There's over 40 communities with the word Glen in there.
I mean, was there actual court proceedings that had to happen?
Yes, yeah. We 9 years of going back and forth to court.
This is the best analogy I can make. So you got a guy called Glenn, and he's a bit of an arsehole, and he's proud of it. And then he names his son Glenn, and then as young Glenn starts to get older, people start assuming that he's an arsehole too. And old Glenn, he gets jealous because he's like, arsehole, that's my thing. And young Glenn is like, I never claimed to be an arsehole. I never wanted to be an arsehole to begin with. I'm just trying to grow up with the name Glenn that you gave me.
Big guy picking on little guy, and we got on the front page across Canada.
Cape Breton Distillery fighting Battle of the Glen.
This is the bottle we did to commemorate that win.
Yeah.
So.
But also, look, like I looked at a number of their products, and they've all got big red maple leaves on them. Now, you think that would denote to other markets, like to the Americans, that it's not Scottish, it's Canadian. Just like if a Canadian was to go over to Scotland, you might wear a red maple leaf to show that you're not American, right? That's what the red maple leaf means to us. That's our identity. It means sovereignty, freedom, and we're not those other arseholes. Sláinte. Hi there, I'm Johnny. I took a run up to the convent. I got to meet Sister Catherine, Sister Claire, Sister Eleanor. They're going to save my soul, these ladies. They're going to save my soul.
We're getting ready for tea.
I would love a cup of tea.
We get the guys to do the pouring.
The men do the pouring. They told me that the road to redemption begins with milk. Always milk first. Milk first.
Put a little milk in first. MIF, milk in first.
In Turkey or something like that. But I'm not going to take my bath the Mabou way. I'm not going to get in first and then add the water. Catch hypothermia trying to splash a bit of water up over yourself. And Sister Eleanor, she's very sharp. She burned me pretty good, actually. I got to say, I was talking about the Syrian family. I was like, oh, yeah, I said, everybody's raised all kinds of money, and they gave them a house, and they furnished the house, and I've come to visit Mabou. Can I get my share? I said, I came to Mabou. What do I get?
There's some tea left in there.
Sister Eleanor said, there's a bit of tea left. You know, what a way to end my visit last night. We had a really lovely evening at the Red Shoe. There was a little impromptu party there. Here we are. This is your place.
Yes.
Tell me what convinced you and some of your siblings that you should buy the pub.
It had been sitting vacant for a couple of years, and it came up, you know, the need for a place like the Red Shoe in this community where people both from here and away can gather and have that authentic experience of hearing local music.
Kenneth and Rodney got up and they played Red Hot Band. And let me tell you, when the dancing starts, that's it. You have no choice in the matter. A young lady grabbed my hand, whisked me up on the dance floor. There was no consent asked or given. That's it. I was in. You got to start moving your feet or you'll just get dragged around on the floor. They will literally mop the floor with you unless you start moving your feet. So I did, but it was funny because I just thought, like, it was just, you know, shuffling my feet around. I thought that's all there was to it. And then we ended up in part of the dance where the gals are all right there, and then me and the men were all here. And then I realized that all their feet are moving in unison. There is, like, an actual dance to it. I thought, okay, maybe I'm not such a good step dancer. I think I'm a good step dancer from the waist up, I think, is what it is. You're supposed to be very still from the waist up. Is that right? I just stand entirely still and say I got it half right.
I kind of realized the benefits of living in a seasonal community. Like, a lot of the country keeps operating when we go into winter. Like, there is no change in the weather. Like, you know, our 9 to 5 lives keep plugging along. We are more coniferous, right? As opposed to you guys who, in the winter, you guys are getting ready. You guys are laying low. You guys are a bit more deciduous. Or maybe deciduous is the wrong word. You guys are more like a root vegetable. You have a strong connection to the land, but in the summertime, you come out and get boiled. No, my mom called me right before I came over to the hall tonight. She said, how's it going? I said, Mom, it's great. I saw a premier fiddle player play, tore up the trails with the Rage and Rankin, sipped some scotch, whiskey, picked up the pipes, but I blew, and just generally got Gaelic. She said, what are you talking about? I said, Mom, I'm talking about Mabou, Nova Scotia. Thanks so much, everybody. You've been great. Thank you.
I was crying a little bit. Just laughing so hard, I was crying.
Quick, funny, clever synopsis of Mabou.
People are leaving here with a smile on their face, and they're proud to be from Mabou.
We're all having a great time here. We all have something to contribute, and Mabou can do with more people.
If you really want to learn Gaelic, Johnny, you got to start with the swear words.
Yeah, he did an awesome job. Winter is very quiet, so it was good to have Johnny here to have a laugh.